Hi, my name is Nikolas and welcome to the daily highlight show of the 42nd Olympiad in Baku. Yeah, we got a lot of games to discuss today, so we start right away with the Women's Olympiad. And let's discuss the standings first. There are 5 teams right now ahead with 12 points, beginning with Russia, China, USA, Azerbaijan, and Netherlands. And yeah, we just take a look what Russia did today. They played a draw against Poland. And yeah, let's start off. So, Black sacrificed the pawn in the opening and therefore has a very good development, and White's pieces are not yet developed, and Black continued playing f5, missing a chance to go in a drawish ending with a nice little tactic here, beginning with knight c3, attacking e2 and stopping White from castling. So he's not able to take, or she wouldn't be able to take the pawn because of bishop takes c3. So bishop to f3 would be the right move, and after rook to d8, nice little tactic over here. Cannot take because of checkmate. And so White has got to castle, and now we got a kind of drawish endgame, which is maybe slightly better for Black after the exchange on c1 and taking the pawn back on b2. So she tried to win, what's nice. So she played f5, f4, intermediate check, and rook c8. And after g5, yeah, the black pieces are really good coordinated. Those bishops are really nice, and the rooks are nice. And yeah, White really has problems with his bishop on c1, and that's why I like Black's play and Black's position really. White took, and now rook to f1. Yeah, this position is not really good for White, and now Black's rooks are very active, and White nearly has no good move to make. And White blunders here, playing a4, giving Black a good chance for more advantage, what Black missed in the first place, playing bishop d3, attacking the rook, and now going back. And yeah, White was happy to repeat moves, but this idea didn't quite work. So she should have taken on d8, played g3, and yeah, just hope for a good ending in a slightly worse position. But she played rook to f1, and now the black player grabbed the chance and played bishop b3, threatening bishop c4, and White would have gone into problems. Let's say a5, and now there's a checkmate. So this is why king h1 was played. And now rook to g1. This position really looks awful for White, but okay, what else to do? White is just trying to defend, but yeah, Black played a really nice game, sacrificed the pawn and continued attacking. So after rook c2, he's or she is trying to get the next rook into the position, and White is defending that. And after the opening of the h-file, White made a final mistake, playing g3 in this position, allowing rook to h8, and the plan is simply to checkmate White over here, and White cannot properly defend it. So this was a very nice game of the Polish player, and yeah, Poland almost made it to beat Russia today, but Valentina Gunina had a bad position first, playing the black pieces over here, but she managed to win it. Let's just have a look how she did it. She played knight to e5 here. White with a tactical threat over here. And as I looked at this position, it was really crazy. I was like, how can Black win this position within like 7 moves. I thought it was impossible, but no, it isn't. Just take a look. Bishop d4 and b4, 2 good moves in this position. b4 to protect the important square c5. And now c3, the first mistake that white has made, and this will lead to a nice little tactic in a few moves, beginning with knight to d3 and queen to f7, threaten, to sometimes take f2, and the knight is attacked. And now white made her final mistake, playing g4. She should have gone for like queen f3, and this position would have been like about equal. But g4 blunders. After bishop to e5, he's or she is I'm always saying he, I'm sorry. She's attacking the defendant bishop, and that's not really much to do. This position is already lost for white. Let's see what she came up with. Queen takes c4, but now those pieces are all attacking the pawn on f2, and white is simply losing after rook takes d4. Queen c3 allows knight to f4, threatening a checkmate, attacking the rook, and this position is simply over after queen takes g1 with the threat of knight to e2. So that was a pretty tough for Russia today, but okay, they're still in the lead, and followed by China. And China managed to win against the Ukraine, which is a really strong team. Average rating of over 2,500. So I just picked one game, this one, which was decisive for the game. And we take a look how the Chinese player won this position. She played this Benoni kind of style. Bishop to g3, knight to e5, and now black maybe should have sacrificed an exchange, but she didn't. She took with the pawn, and now this pawn is really getting annoying. Going to d6 and to d7, defended with knight to b6. This position is really bad for black, and white just played the next moves pretty good. Just going ahead with this pawn, playing knight to b6, and a few moves later, black was forced to give up an exchange, and white just won this position quite easily, which was impressive. So that's why China's on the second place in the Women's Olympiad. And third place, USA. Have beaten Romania today with 3-1. And I'll show you the game of the US champion Nazi Bajkice, who had the black pieces in this position and played b4, and the first mistake showing the wrong idea by white was g5. And after this exchange of pawns, black can stop white from occupying the c-file. He can have a double. She has to play rook c2, and what is going to happen is pretty simple. Black is going to attack over here, and white white is continuing her attack over here, playing f5, which is not really good because it opens up a white king, and the black's king is really safe in this position. So black manages to just play on both sides of the board, playing a really nice game, beginning her attack on the queen side. And now after f5, she's about to take and bringing her bishops to the white king, preparing for an attack. So this position is really good for black. Now she has to manage some attack on the king, and she starts off with g6, planning to simply go h5, h4, h3, which is a really good plan indeed. So we just have a quick look. She's reassembling her pieces at some point, but the plan is the same. She's gonna push on the king side. She does not want to exchange any pieces. That's why she plays knight to f6 right here. And now h4. And then the next move h3. And this position is barely over for white. After knight to g5 and queen g4 check, white is losing on force. So yeah, but I really couldn't just say there was some more decisive mistakes. It was just the wrong idea from the beginning, starting off with g5. And yeah, the US champion really played a nice game. And yeah, now she's winning a pawn. And I don't think we have to look at the rest of the game, because that's quite simply winning. Yeah, that's for USA. Right now in the fourth place is the host, Azerbaijan, who manages to win against India today. Yeah, and there was one decisive game played by Mamadova, and it starts right off in this position. This position occurred from the Italian opening, and this is kind of modern to play it with a4, but okay. The tactics that is going to arise will start off in this position, and it's all about the pawn on e5. So it's defended bishop to b5, knight to a7, which is possible because, yeah, white can take this pawn, but as black played, this is correct, playing rook e8, attacking this knight, which is pinned. Now she plays a nice maneuver, going bishop h4, threatening f6, and you might think this was kind of senseless, but it isn't, because the white king is weakened for the rest of the game. That's why this maneuver was quite clever. After king h2 takes on e5, yeah, black made her not final mistake, but a decisive one, and played rook to d5 in this position, which loses in a few moves like she played. But let's have a quick look what would have been better. f6 would have been better, because after e6, bishop f5, the trick that black has is to take on e6 simply in this position and take advantage of the pin, win the material back. And now where black should be slightly better because of this weakened king. Okay, well, but she didn't. She played rook to d5, which allows knight to d4. And the idea is that f6 is not possible anymore because of e6, because you have this nice knight on d4. Yeah, that's why she took on e5. And this position should be better for white. And now black's even allowing to let the rook enter the 7th rank. And yeah, one mistake often leads to another, which is the case in this position, where she played queen to d8. And now you can, if you like, stop the video and try for yourself to solve this little tactics. And I'll go ahead, because we have many games to take a look at today. And this is rook takes g7. Black cannot take, because the queen will be dropping, and this position is totally over. We just take a look at two more moves where black gave up now due to knight to c6 or e6 and rook to d8, which there's no defense to that. So that was Azerbaijan winning against India today. And on the 5th place right now, the Netherlands, we have an average rating of 2000, oh my god, my handwriting, 2291, and managed to win against Georgia, which average rating is almost 2500, which is a huge difference. That's amazing. And the decisive game was played by Thea Lanchava, and I played her in Luxembourg, I think, 2 years ago. Yeah, and today she played a nice game, starting off in this position because the opening is, yeah, maybe interesting for someone, but not for everyone. So bishop f4, and white is slightly better here, mostly because of this weakened pawn on d4, and now black is making her decisive mistake, exchanging the queens, and now black is not able to defend this d4 pawn anymore. f5 and e5 was played in the game. If she would have played this one without exchanging queens, it would be possible to play bishop to e4, because if white takes, this rook would be gone. So black manages to defend his pawns in this concrete position. Yeah, that's the difference between exchanging the queens and don't exchange. So, and after a few more moves, h6, threatening to go for g5, pretty simple, defended by h4, and now this position is really bad for black. The rooks are pretty weak on this side, and the game will be decided in a few moves. And this is starting with the pawn sacrifice e6, bringing the next move, the next rook into the game with a check. And now the knight comes in, and black sacrifices the exchange, but he will lose material soon. That's why we won't take a look at the game which went on, because here's so many threats for white that black lost some more material in the next move. They played for like 20 moves, but yeah, the position is lost anyway. That was a great game by Thea Lanchava. And now we will switch to the open section, where today the final standings, or the standings after round number 7, USA is in the lead with 13 points. Yeah, and let's see how they did it. They won crushing against India today with 3.5 out of 4. They just smashed India. It was amazing. It kind of looked like the Indian players don't really got into the games, and of course USA is a very strong team. Yeah, and this was the game of Hikaru Nakamura, and he came. His position is quite nice after the opening, because he has this nice pin over here, which almost, but just almost, wins a pawn right now. But yeah, Adiban is able to to not lose a pawn, but yeah, it's Nakamura style. He calculated very far, and let's see how white wins forced here. Bishop d6 is a nice intermediate move, which kind of protects the bishop on a6. But okay, black can take on b3. If you, I don't know what move to make. If you go away with your bishop, b2 would be possible, and you will lose the piece on a6. That's where queen a3 was played here, and now b2. And it looks like black would have solved all his problems, not losing a pawn, and the game is just on the right side of the board. But yeah, that's not the case, because Nakamura calculated a few more moves, and is winning on force with bishop to b7 and rook a8, because in this position he is winning this very important pawn on d5, and after rook to b6 defending this knight over here comes simple bishop to b3. And yeah, I would say we skip the rest of the game because this position is so good for white, and of course he easily manages to win this position. Let's take a next look to the game of Wesley So against this amazing player Vidit, who just I don't know how he did it. He just won nearly every game for India and was playing so good in this tournament. But today he didn't get into the game, and after the opening in this position, Black is already slightly better because he has the pair of bishops. But yeah, how I said, he didn't get into the game and played b3 in this position, which leads to an almost lost position after the exchange on c4, because Black has such a strong pawn, which is just going, and yeah, nearly over after rook d7, bishop f6 attacking this rook over here, a5, and now simply go back, defend it, and white cannot protect this pawn properly if he tries what the white player tried here with rook c1. Comes b3, rook to b7, okay. Anyways, b2, and now bishop to f6, protecting this pawn. And this position is, yeah, I think it's quite simple to win it, because this pawn is such a distraction of or for the rook on b1. So you can, like Wesley So did, you enter the position and you just go like rook a3, threaten to take the pawn, and go like here. White has to defend, and you will lose the pawns. That's why that's where we have a look at now, just real quick. So, and now rook to b4 and a4, and white had to resign here because this pawns are just too strong. So it was a really good game for all the USA players. Like I said, they're in the lead now, followed by Russia. And yeah, what did I want to tell you now? Yeah, let's just have a look at the game between Latvia and the Netherlands, who played on board 2 today. And we can make it real quick. The game between Shirov and Giri. Many people looked at this game and said, wow, amazing, and yay, and what's going on, and king g7, what a move, and so on, and check, and oh, here's a perpetual over here, like check, and queen c1, and check over here, and draw, and yay, and crazy game. But actually this game was played 3 years ago between Ganguly and MVL, so I don't know, it was not that amazing because it was already played, like the same moves. So okay, but easy draw for Anish Giri with the black pieces, which is not bad at all. But anyways, on board number 4, the yeah, the black player manages to really play good against Benjamin Bok and force him into this rook ending after queen to e3. And Benjamin was the favorite in this game, rated over 100 Elo points more than his opponent. But yeah, he ended up in this rook ending, and black just played it really nice. Let's have a look at this, h5, and now g5, which is a really good move. White has to take, and now after king g6, black is really active on the king side and will push his pawns soon in the future and can enter the white's position at any time. that's why this rook ending is, I don't think it's possible to defend it if black plays it correct, and black played it correct in this position. b3, b4, a very nice positional move, just taking control over c3 and a3, defending a4 or c4. And now black enters the position and white gave up in a few moves. So that's why Latvia is one of the, let me count, one of the 6 teams with 12 points. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. So let's have a look at the games from Russia. And Russia played against the Czech Republic, which is a very strong team, but like the USA, they managed to win 3.5 to a half. That's, I don't know, it's kind of awkward to see it in the 7th round, but okay, it's nice to see for the viewers to have many decided games and not so many draws. So I think it was a good day. And this position was between Sergei Karyakin and David Navara. Again, Italian opening, played more often in the last few years. And yeah, this position is slightly better for white, and black kind of, I don't know, b5, he played b5 and it's just not quite working because of this very good square for white, which he's beginning to occupy, starting with bishop e3, takes, rook to d6, but anyways, knight c5, threatening to go knight b7, and queen c8, rook to e1, just preventing some d4 stuff, and now knight to h5, final and decisive mistake from David Navara, because you have some, like the last games, you can please stop it and try yourself, because I will solve it now, the tactics. It starts off with taking on d5, takes back, and now queen to a2, threatening to take the rook, threatening to take on b5, and if the rook moves back to d8, you will simply lose the e5 pawn. So I think that's the point where David realized he had to do some crazy stuff in order to have the slightest chance of not losing. So he plays this knight to f4, trying to get some attack. Rook to d6, just sacrificing the knight, but this just doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but if you just keep the strongest piece away from attack, this just doesn't work for black. And he took on g2, and now knight takes e5, threatening to take the rook, to take on f7. And yeah, David had enough and resigned. Okay, on board number 4 today, Azerbaijan. Yeah, lots of crushing fights today. Azerbaijan won 3.5 against Croatia, which I can just repeat myself. It's crazy. And we will have a look at the game from Zafali Eltach, or Eltach Zafali, this way. And this is because he played a nice attacking game, and he almost, I don't know, his score is like 4 out of 5 or something like that. It's pretty amazing. He's playing a very, very good tournament. And in this position, he started off with a3. He wants to develop his rook and maybe do some rook lift over here to c3 or anything like this. And yeah, black's making a little mistake. Try to grab the e4 pawn, which is not the best. Okay, knight f5, and now takes on b4. So the center looks pretty good, but the white pieces are really strong and the center is kind of weak. And he starts off with knight to c3, exchanging this very good knight on e4. Black cannot take over here, because the queen is still to defend this one. That's why he played bishop to f6. And now rook a5, threatening to take on d5. And now it seems like black had won a pawn, but yeah, white is really having some initiative over here, coming with queen g4 and some kind of bishop h6 and g7 is weak. And let's just see how white manages to attack in this position. Bishop e3 is tactically possible because black cannot take here, and he would have problems with the rook on a8. That's why queen c7 and now queen g4 attacking the king. Exchange, and now king h8, rook to d6. Nice attacking maneuver, threatening to take this defending bishop and checkmating on g7. So that's why rook g8 was played, rook to d1, a5, and now black is winning after bishop to b6. One more move and you will understand why bishop to b6 is needed, because now you can simply take on f6 and the queen does not defend d8, so you can checkmate in this position. One last try was knight to c6 in this position, but white has queen h4. Black cannot take due to mate on g7, and black cannot take this bishop on b6 because white has a rook to h6 threatening mate on h7, and he cannot take because of mate over here. So if we just look at this position a few moves ago, rook to d6, I think it was a brilliant attacking game, so congrats to Azerbaijan. Yeah, and we go ahead, board or table number 5. Georgia won against Romania, and that was this game between Yubava and Lupulescu, and we had this position for like, I don't know, it felt like 40 moves. They just, don't know, played knight to d5 and went back, and king a2 and king b1, and I don't know, and finally, which is truly spoken not the best move, but at least he tried, Badu Yubava went for the sacrifice of the h3 pawn and manages to attack in this position. Rook to h2, threatening to take on h6. Let's say, for instance, if black does nothing, you could take and checkmate over here. So that's the threat. And black plays king g8, which is kind of the mistake that leads to the white win. And if you would have played rook e6, that defends all the sacrifices. And yeah, but what to say? I mean, the sacrifice of the pawn h3 was not correct, but yeah, he was fearless, he tried it, he tried to win, and that's why I think it's fair. Okay, now before some intermediate to have this rook on c4, he probably could have taken d5, but yeah, let's just see what happened. He took on h6, as black cannot take due to knight f6, winning the queen. That's why black played knight to e5, and now after knight to g6, if you like to stop the video, there's two ways of winning very fast, but yeah, Yubava didn't see it. He played a different move. He played rook to h7, which allows black to go knight f3, defending this knight f6 stuff, and this position is barely equal, so it would have been a really hard fight. But black took on e4, allowing rook takes a g7, with the idea of mating again, and also with the idea of king f8, what happened in the game, rook to g8, and then winning material. So, but let's switch back. Like I told you, rook to h7 was not a very good move. What would have been better? Rook to h8. And now queen h2, and white will win immediately, or also playing queen h2 over here, threatening rook to h8, and if you take again, you lose the queen. So that was the game from Jobava. Yeah, and another result which was pretty amazing was the win by England, who won against China 3-1, and I think it all was connected with this particular game between Li Chao and Short, which was a really nice game. And let's have a look. So black tries to attack over here, and white tries to attack over here. I mean, it's good stuff for having a great game, right? Just both people attacking. So g5, and now white slowly brings his pieces to the king side, and yeah, that's what we are witnessing right now. So, and this one is important, playing f6, because otherwise g6 would have been much stronger, opening up the whole position. That's why f6 is necessary, g6, and now knight to f8. And now it seems to be very tough to attack, but yeah, well, nothing but white has to attack, otherwise he will just lose, because black's way stronger on the queen side. Yeah, let's just have a look how they did it. Rook to f2, he brings all his pieces to the king side. Rook g2, rook f4, c3, now bishop back, attacking f6 and threatening some stuff of sacrifice, and bringing the rook into the game. And queen b6, and this was the point where black made a mistake and played rook to e7. He needed to defend this g7 pawn, but he should have gone for rook c7. And why? Because rook to e7 allows knight to e5, which happened in the game. Now taking on e5 happened and was a mistake, but why is this a mistake? And this is really strange variation. I tell you what happened in the game. White took on e7, and now the position is better for black. What he could have done is play f6, which really leads to beautiful tactic. And if you like, stop it and try to solve it, but it's really tough, and I don't know. So I just gonna show you. It starts off with bishop takes e4, yeah, and the idea is to, if the bishop leaves the control over g8, you can simply take and mate on g8. So if he goes like bishop c4, you have a beautiful move to win this position, and it's queen e6 with the mate in a few moves, which is just amazing, because the queen is attacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times over here, and yeah, this leads to forced mate. But Li Chao did not see that. That's why he missed f6, which is just human. So we have this position, and after this sacrifice on d4, where white should not take, because black takes and is advancing his pawns. White played queen g4, which is a mistake again, but let's not get too deep into these variations, because it's really crazy stuff. Just to tell you, f6 would have led to possibly a draw, maybe forced, and this is just crazy, but okay. But queen g4 was played, and after defending this pawn on g7, queen h5, f3, rook g4, both good moves. Bishop to e5 again was a mistake by black. He should have taken on e3, but these are other crazy lines. And now came this weird move, because again this square on c5 is just double attacked, but yeah, that's why I really like the game, but you would need like a few hours to analyze this game properly. But this move was a mistake because of queen h6, and now this position is one for black. That's what happened in the game. Queen e7, and now f2 check, king g2, and bishop c4, threatening to promote. That's why he took and gave up in this position. That's finally a position I can understand, because I could not really understand these positions with bishop c5. Best move would have been queen to e8, and again it possibly would have led to a forced draw, which is just it's crazy. Okay, the last game of the day, we want to have a quick look what the world champion Magnus Carlsen did today. And he had black in this position, and after d5 he simply went for knight a7, and it's, I don't know, this was played before by a strong player, by Nepomniachtchi, but it was a blitz game, and I think knight a7 is just not a good move. But if Carlsen plays it, he can just play everything. Just because he starts off not with the best moves, he just continues playing really good moves. That's why he can allow to play these moves, which are just not that good, but okay. h3, and now Carlsen style, just improving your position slowly but steady. And after c6, black is going to occupy this both squares and attacking on b2, and white is already in trouble here. So I guess it was not such a fight for Carlsen today. And yeah, if you can win against such a strong player like Dragan Solak, yeah, that just shows how good Magnus Carlsen is. Rook to c8, and after knight to c5, there will soon be a piece dropping, threatening a mate over here, and after g3 he just goes, takes advantage of this pin, and wins a piece. So I don't think we need to see the rest of this. And yeah, that were the most decisive games of today. There are still 4 rounds to play, so will be very exciting. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed these games. There are a lot of more interesting games, but I'm sorry I can't show you all. This was were the most decisive games of today. And yeah, that's it. Bye.